OG will take their map pick Mirage here in the Flashpoint 2 Consolidation Final. They find themselves one map away from heading into our grand final to face Virtus Pro. Fnatic, now they came out with an early strong start here. OG had to battle back, and it really felt like we were watching JW and Brolan versus Alexi B and Valde, all big performances from two players on each team. Isn't that right, Thor?
Yeah, I mean, listen, I have to say out of the four, Brolan got his kills, but I don't know that his impact was as great as the other three. Like, the person I feel the worst for has to be JW. Like, that was actually a superlative performance. He not only was AWPing, his rifle worked, he won clutches. Like, I feel like he must be on his days and shit, where he's like, how much more am I supposed to... What more can I do? It's like the old classic throwback stream clip, because I don't blame him at all for this map. He did a fantastic job.
Maui, we've seen this time and time again. OG with the slow start, downloading their opponent, and then pulling out some ridiculous ecos. If you were watching their game versus MIBR last night, that's how it ended in the 30th round. Valde, clutch after clutch here. Alexi B even stepping up himself as the IGL and delivering in some of those clutch situations.
Yeah, Potter mentioned it on the cast that Alexi B was just everywhere on that CT side. He was all over the A-bomb side, B-bomb side, underpass fighting, taking mid-fights. It felt like he was literally just an omnipresent force on top of Mirage, especially when they were defending. So I gotta give a lot of credit to Alexi B. I don't know if his individual calling got them this victory, but his individual performance definitely helped them out. Valde as well, defending that A side. Like, it felt like that game was absolutely over. Looked like Fnatic had complete control of it, and Valde just came up huge with multi-frag after multi-frag in the most key situations.
Yeah, JW with the 36 frags too, really putting up your point, Thorin, that he's going to be the MVP of this tournament, but it still wasn't enough to carry them. They just stopped short just before the finish line.
Yeah, this is why I personally hate that metric that, like, most valuable by definition means you must win, and you must win that map. Because if you watched in this particular game, the only person I think was really even debatable was maybe Alexi B, because of where he positioned himself and how he basically moved around the map. And as Maui says, like, you basically couldn't read where he was going to be on the CT side. But JW did every single thing that was asked of him, pretty much. Every time I saw his crosshair, he was always getting the kill. He was always positioning. He basically stole a couple of rounds that actually meant that OG could have won much bigger. Obviously, put Fnatic into that lead with all the frags in the first place. So to me, at the moment, it's his tournament to lose in terms of the MVP award. Certainly, these guys on OG, Valde especially, had their chance to supersede him, but they didn't do it in map one. And on the point about actually Alexi B's calling, this is where you also have to be careful, where even if you can hear the comms. So I always critique that I think he should, like, take over and just tell them what he essentially usually tells them late in the comms, which is shut the fuck up, listen to me. But actually, maybe there's a reason he doesn't do that. Like, for example, maybe he likes to let other people get their ideas in early, see what works, get a sense for the game, read the opponent, and then he decides the download's complete and goes for his call. So it's the dynamics are not often as simple as that, and we certainly wouldn't claim as outsiders to know exactly who's making it. It's just that when he gets styled in, is there any IGL in the game has to do more than this guy? I mean, he literally has to be alive in clutches. He entries, he lurks at times. He doesn't have to frag in the sense of put up big numbers, but he has to get certain frags on the T side, and on top of that, he has to coordinate a bunch of fairly disparate voices. So I don't know anyone who's got a bigger burden at the moment, but he's making it work. And if he can win a tournament like this, he's going to get the credit, I assure you.
Yeah, and it really felt like this match was kind of both of these teams in Flashpoint in a nutshell. Fnatic starting super strong, as you say, OG then getting the download, and then pulling off some ridiculous clutches with Valde and Alexi. And it started actually with Issa. And I know Issa has had a level of, I would say, questioning his play throughout the course of this tournament. But Maui, you wanted to look at a big turnaround point for Issa, which was round 11 when OG was way down, and he picks up some clutch deagle kills.
Yeah, this was looking rather grim for OG. As you can see the top of the scoreboard, 8-2, but Issa with these magical deagle kills just sprays through the smoke, hoping to catch someone else pushing through, because he knows JW is going for that lurk, but it's not actually through the smoke that he'll find him. It's actually when they all push here, and it'll be Valde and Issa combining. But basically, this was a round that OG just weren't supposed to win, and so you could see the firepower from Issa coming up big in a moment such as that, and that's really what Issa is on this team. He is the firepower. He's pretty much just the raw fragging ability, and that's a round that Alexi B didn't have to call. It's a round that Valde didn't have to clutch. It's just a round that Issa took everybody out with every shot he took.
Yeah, and impressively, it also really allowed OG to come back in that first half and make sure that it was going to be 9-6, continue to be a much more winnable game that it looked like it wouldn't have been without that Issa kill. Now we can move on and look at some of the positives from Fnatic, though. And as we've been alluding to, the 36 kills from JW. Well, he picked up a 4K that was absolutely amazing to watch in round 17, if you want to walk us through it.
Who?
Well,
who's going to walk me through it?
Let's see. Let's see
the
if
clip. Fair enough.
Yeah, we're trying to wait for the JW clip right now.
I want to bring up one thing about OG though. Before that Issa thing happened, it really felt like their it was kind of what I was alluding to before in the pregame, that it looked like their comms were not together. There was a buy that was 5 seconds after freeze time ended. There was a buy. There was a 4-2. Okay. Well, we are going to get the clip here. And so JW, this was just a 1v4 from him. That was crazy. That was, it basically was OG pulling something out of their hat with eco frags across the board. And then JW was able to just recover the situation in really spectacular fashion. And it felt like at that point, all right, that's it. OG, you gave it your best shot, but let's get on to map 2. And JW just put the nail in the coffin. But somehow, some way, OG brought that all the way back.
I have to say, one thing that I'm actually really worried about on the side of OG, but also for Fnatic for the opposite reason, is OG, you cannot have to win like 4 or 5 bad economic situations in a game to win the game. Like, you're supposed to win when you have the guns, but similarly, if you do win in that way, well, this is one problem for Fnatic. Remember, they're the ones that offline pull out the flasher type bullshit where they have the CZ and they'll get the kill and then get away and then get a gun. But tell you what, those rounds are costing them so much in this tournament. If they could just close out when they have the guns, they'd basically be in the final right now. They maybe might not have ever even lost the series. They'd have won a lot 2-0. So that's something to watch out for both teams, because OG's luck has to run out eventually. Those can't work in the long run. But at the same time, it has worked in this map.
I was shocked it didn't run out on our last game of MIBR last night, where it could have easily gone into overtime. MIBR could have easily been in this consolidation final instead. And yet they still seem to just be clutching these ecos out. And that was the turning point here. After those JW kills, you say, okay, Fnatic's rolling again. And here is where it stopped. And that is in round 27. We have another insane OG eco performance. Maui, what did you like about this play?
Just look at the guns there, by the way.
Yeah, MP9 kill, FAMAS kill, and this is where we were talking about Valde. The fact that he can just find multi-frags from situations that he has no business getting those kills in. NBK was there to clean it up at the very end, but that was all Valde. Just getting around that default box, that's a box that they're supposed to swing at you from multiple angles on, pincer you, and you will really have no chance to get more than 1 frag. He goes above and beyond and finds 2 and delays them, stays alive long enough so that the rotation can come in from NBK. Huge performance from Valde there. He was the top fragger for the OG side, and I think that was probably his most important round, and he only found 2 kills.
What's your guys' read when it comes to OG barely winning their own map on Mirage, especially going into Overpass next, which we have not seen OG play at all this tournament? May mean that they have some strats ready. They have been able to at least analyze Fnatic on this map. One would think that they reviewed it, considering Fnatic has had 5 games so far in Flashpoint 2. Thorin, do you think that this should easily be a Fnatic win and sending us to that 3rd map or not?
If I've learned one thing from Fnatic, this is also why these two teams match up pretty well, is they are just like, they have a penchant for just like losing their own map pick, but then winning the opponent. So there's a world in which I don't necessarily, I think Fnatic is favored here, not least because OG doesn't really play the map at the moment. But I also think like OG in theory now have been given a new lease on life, because if they lose that Mirage game close and then go into Overpass, that's what we call squeaky bomb time in the UK. That's when you start to get a little bit nervous. You start thinking like, we have to pull some miracle out here. Whereas now they don't even have to win this map. And so I actually hope that frees them to play the way they do when they've got their backs against the wall. You just go for it, make the peaks, don't wait. And because if you notice, actually, between the two teams, it's Fnatic that wants to play a slow game on the T side. They're the ones that want to creep up and play almost like safe Counter-Strike. We were talking about this actually during the game, me and Maui, that because they've got online and they've had all these struggles where the joke is everyone's doing to them what they do on LAN, it's almost like Fnatic have taken the next logical conclusion, which is, why don't we just play more standard then? Let's just play a little bit safer, which isn't really their game, but it's got them to this point in the tournament. So I think they're going to stick with it, quite frankly.
Now, are you concur in terms of Overpass play? Do you think that this is perhaps OG laying a bit of a trap, considering there's not any film in Flashpoint of them playing this map?
Not quite. I don't think OG is that practice on this map. Earlier in the middle of the year, I think OG had this really bad problem on Overpass where they didn't know how in 4v4 situations to convert those on the CT side. They always had these problems with where do we set up now? Where do we find this middle of the round aggression? Because Overpass is a map of pushing and pulling on the CT side. You're either taking some space, giving the other side of the map up, or just going for an aggressive peek somewhere. You need info. If you let these T's exec onto you onto a bomb site in a man down situation, you will lose. And OG was having a lot of trouble finding those middle of the round frags. They didn't know where to peek, at what time, how to set up. So I hope that they improve that, because they will be starting on the CT side going into this map. Fnatic will look for those early skirmishes, and if OG can't convert a couple of 4v4s, Fnatic has a chance to run away with this map.
Well, we have seen a lot of Fnatic on Overpass, and to break down some of their tendencies, we have Alan here on Stats Helix.
And once again, we're going to be looking at a round from the last series that OG and Fnatic played against each other back at DreamHack Full, but this time over on Inferno. And looking at the map, we can see that OG have 4 players towards this A bomb site, and that's because they'll be going for a brackets retake here. So letting this one play out, see there's a molly at the top here of brackets and another at the bottom. And Issa's going to smoke mid from pit, and then on 2 flashes, Mantu and MBK are going to swing out and clear out all of this map control. Now with this map control towards brackets, they have some information and are going to feel very compelled to rotate numbers onto the B bomb site, especially with the clock going down. But Fnatic, they are well aware that this dynamic is at play, and they're going to abuse it by smoking CT on B from JW, and Flusher is going to apply some pressure by himself, and this is going to really mess with OG's rotates. The time is going down, they think they have brackets, now they're going to rotate 4 players over towards B, and Fnatic have really duped them out here. Just MBK here on this A bomb site, flashing out into brackets. NBK will find one onto Golden, but eventually will be traded out here by Crims. And now JW, he's clearing out the site. Fnatic have the A bomb site. Flush is making his way over as well, and soon enough he will pick up Issa, putting Fnatic into a 4 versus 3 afterplant, where they will eventually close out the round. So I think on this one, we really see the kind of dueling dynamics of OG and Fnatic, where OG have some really great set plays like we saw in that brackets retake, whilst Fnatic really excel in the mid-round calling, as we saw, understanding the dynamic of the rotates, pulling the rotate onto B and isolating a 4 versus 1 on that A bomb site onto NBK. Will we see this playing out again in today's Inferno game between Fnatic and OG? Back to Monty, Foreign and Maui.
Well, that was a lovely Inferno clip that we had there. If we do go to the third map, it's nice to see that having been played out between OG and Fnatic previously. However, we are going to be heading into Overpass as our next map here. You guys have already said you think this is probably likely to head in Fnatic's fashion, and we may be seeing that Inferno after all. I really am excited to see that Inferno. I would love to see this go all 3 games, considering how game 1 went personally. How about you guys, Maui?
Yeah. I mean, I feel like Inferno is just the great decider. So hopefully we get to see NBK and the rest of the crew trying to pull the Fnatic rotations, but then Fnatic just reading it out. I love the mind games between both of these teams on that map because they have so much comfort on it. So hopefully it gets there. I really hope that Overpass delivers too, but it's going to be hard to top that Mirage because that was a really exciting match already.
All right, well, let's get into the map with no further ado. Potter and Semler are waiting for us as we are going into Overpass.
We are indeed. Thank you very much, Monty. And for Thorin and Maui, the analysis always so good. And it is definitely going to be a fun one going into this Overpass, man. Do OG have what it takes? It's not a map that they play too often. That was elaborated at length there on the desk. Potter, I mean, do you agree? Do you think that this is a chance for OG to just swing for the fences?
Man, it's going to be tough. It's definitely going to be tough. I think Maui had a good point. OG, they haven't had historically the greatest record on this Overpass when they're swinging versus the best of them. And Fnatic, they've shown that they want to make Overpass something special because that 4 overtime game versus MIBR, it was filled with action. So right off the bat again, Fnatic starting off on that T side. And we saw this on Mirage Semler. A lot of utility coming out from 2 members, 2 flashes and a smoke, and they're already out into B. Golden.
What is this? They're Mad Lads. They have yet to find... There we go. They get the killing connector, and they are finally going to be moving on in here. Mantu's going to chase Flusha out through Monster. And Flusha somehow surviving this as well. Now he goes down, but this is allowed for the rotation up to the to the A site here from Fnatic. JW's got the bomb on him as well, and he is going to just stick that plant. There isn't anybody there yet to stop him. So this is really going to set it up now for the post-plant. Time's a ticking, and OG have to get in position. You still have Issa waiting on the flank, hopefully looking to catch somebody out here, but it's Fnatic who are choosing to try and press OG back. They're choosing to get aggressive, and JW is going to get caught. So it's all on Crims now, and well, it is all on Crims. This is it. Him against the world, 1v3. Bomb is not even planted for him, and so they can just start defusing. Alexi B is going to get on that. He's got the kit, and there is not a hope for Crims. Doesn't even manage to get the kill. Action-packed pistol right out the gates.
Oh my goodness, it looked like for a moment there that Crims had bought that special god armor that doesn't even exist in the game, because he was bobbing and weaving past all those bullets. But OG, they finally make it happen, and it looked like for a moment that Fnatic had done enough. Golden drew a lot of rotations towards that B site, but not finding any kills towards that B. That was definitely the crux. Fnatic would have loved to find some sort of an opening, but the Force clapping right back. Fnatic, 3 Galils and 2 Deagles on their backs and a good amount of utility. Mantu, he's going aggressive. He's got a buddy with him in MBK, and OG, they don't want to lose this connector.
I like how OG don't even cut corners themselves. They're like, we know these guys are going to buy, so let's just get rifles. Like, we're not going to horse around with MP9s or shotties or anything like that. Just try and match toe-to-toe with the firepower here, as it is going to be MBK rotating up. He is going to get bopped. Crims taking point and opening it up. Now Mantu not even going to spot Flusha. This is going to get real tricky here, but it's looking like Fnatic not expecting a second man. Golden happens to be facing connector as Mantu comes up, and that's another headshot. This could be an utter disaster now for OG. 2-man advantage for Fnatic. Another rifle recovered as Flusha joins the rest of the pack, and they are going to try and take the fight here. Lexi B pressuring Brolan at long, eventually does get that kill, but the rest of Brolan's team are making their way up onto the A site, and now it's going to be Lexi B who's going to be in for a world of hurt here, just trying to spray through that smoke, hoping to get lucky, and he is not going to be long for this world. JW hunts him down, but JW, just like that, is the last man alive. Somehow, the rest of OG have come through, and it is all JW, but JW takes the kill and gets it. 1 for 1.
Things could not be getting closer, Semler. That round came down to the wire. JW finds the spam. Thankfully, the opponent on OG was low, so he's able to secure that. But man, Fnatic, it looked like they were going to get that A bomb site down. OG, they looked like they lost it. But what a recovery, and what a deagle shot coming out from Golden once again. It just does seem like Golden, you know, he's never going to be at the very top of that scoreboard most of the time, but every now and then he does bring out some insane shot like that out of his back pocket. Another tactical coming out from Fnatic. Need to collect their thoughts a little bit, because that round was wild. JW, clutch god.
That was way too close. Actually crazy just how close that was, because JW, I mean, that looked like he had it done, at least the 2 versus 1 kind of duel at the end there from OG, and yet JW just sensed it and manages to get it through the smoke. That was sick. And well, now OG, it is going to be the force buy from them. They spend everything they've got, pistols, a handful of nades, and well, hoping to be able to just fight back. They do not want to let Fnatic, on this map in particular, get a strong start, although I mean, it is funny when it comes to OG. It does really feel like they do put themselves behind, not only in the bracket, but in the maps. Always feels like they have to be a down a man, down a few rounds, and then they can start getting into the mix.
Speaking of being down a man, Alexi B gets picked off early. MBK is sniffing out some more, but JW's too ready for it. He's got that MAC-10. He wants to farm, make some extra cash for himself. And you know JW's not going to back down. OG members getting some water control at the moment. Looks like Issa and Mantu are just going to buddy up, and all 3 defenders of OG are towards this B bomb site. A is completely wide open. Fnatic are making their way towards that bomb site, so soon they will find a free one. And it does seem like Mantu, Issa, and Valde from OG, they're probably not even going to bother going back to A, even if the bomb gets planted at this point. Probably going to look around for some exit kills. Fnatic are being very thorough, very careful. They do not want a repeat of what happened last round.
No, this is what, yeah, I mean, it's just going to be fairly straightforward stuff. It was the gamble from OG. So, 3 on B, hoping that Fnatic are going to hit. If they hit B, awesome. If they don't hit B, cool. We save our guns for the next round because obviously we spent everything this round. So, OG, luck of the draw would have it that they are going to survive this round. Or they should survive this round. I don't really think that Fnatic should be out hunting them with rifles either.
Oh, but JW's got that Mag-10. You know he wants to.
That is JW's style, though. With Mag-10, yeah, taking a little peek. No, he's got the flash. They're ready for it, though.
Oh, what a shot from Mantu. That grenade would have done so much damage. JW's not going to be making all that money, all that bread this round.
That cheddar. Get out of here. He's done, and there isn't enough money to buy him an op, so I'm curious, actually. Does he just go Deagle Kevlar here? It's going to be another round of eco from OG. He has to know it, so maybe just manage your economy and set yourself up for the AWP in the following round, if you're JW. It's actually pretty outrageous that he continues to just dominate. No, never mind. He's just going all in. All right, full buy from JW. So not perhaps interested in getting the AWP right out the gates. That or maybe a teammate like Broline will drop it for him. So, I mean, that's always an option, of course. But as far as JW is concerned, he is continuing. He just spotted Vel, didn't he? Oh, this is awkward. There you go. Valde gets the one, and they manage to catch the other. So, 2-man advantage now for Fnatic. Long push coming up from OG as well, but Fnatic are well aware of all the shenanigans. They are taking their time. They are holding angles. And it really shouldn't be too possible here for OG to pick up anything.
I'm surprised at how much utility Issa brought into this round and hasn't used any of it yet, but he might make things interesting here. Crims, too good for it. Sliver of an angle, and Crims finds another as well. It's all down to Alexi B and his measly USP. And JW do it to him. Oh, he just finds the kill. You know, Semler, we have not seen a knife, the blade, coming out from J-Dubs quite yet in this tournament so far. And I'll be really surprised if he makes it all the way to the grand finals without finding himself one.
You know, that's, to be fair, that's right. The man has spent enough time in strip malls and malls in general to have lived by the blade. He has trained for years. He is familiar. What a mad lad. It is true. He is the man to make that kind of play happen. And I'm actually kind of surprised that we still don't have an op in play for him. So just sticking to the rifles. But he continues. I mean, 5 kills on the board for JW. I think he ended Mirage with like 37 kills, which is ridiculous. Actually, I'll just go ahead and double check that real quick.
Good start from OG. What a flash. Just completely blinding Brolan. He didn't even have a chance into that round. And a lot of pressure coming out towards his B. Huge spam kill coming out from Issa. But he does get burned alive in Lexi B. Fnatic don't know it, but he's in this smoke just waiting for his moment. And there it is. The bomb is down. Alexi B securing the B bomb site. He's even got Natural Born Killer to have his back here. And now Fnatic, they're in the smoke. They can't get the bomb down, though.
Actually, I'm wondering if that is a problem, though. Oh, Crim's not going to be able to step in. Too much pressure getting put on. And Valda, now that he joins the party, he gets to chime in with 3 kills of his own. Puts him up on 4-3. And actually, JW finished Mirage with 36 kills, so I was 1 kill off. 36 kills for JWs.
That's just decent.
That's all right.
It's all right.
It's all right. That's nothing, you know, nothing to write home to mom about. But they're going to need more from JW if they are going to be pulling ahead here in this first half, because now OG are starting to warm up a little bit. They've got their second round on the board after the pistol. 3-2. Fnatic still in the lead, but now JW has that AWP in play. Oh, nicely done.
Feels bad. Flusha just catching that grenade. And I also just did notice that Molotov up top at party. Brolan did not need to use his smoke for it. Don't know if that's a missed Molotov or a calculated one, but OG, they're on the move. Proactive CT early aggression. They're going to have all this monster for free. A lot of information, but J-Dubs, he's coming back around. He gets punished. Valde, such a clean opening kill there, or opening shot rather. And MBK, He's about to run into a lot of traffic. The Shadow gives it away. 2 kills in the spray transfer, and Broland gets taken down as well. A good trade coming up from Montu, and that's a clean round from OG. Even the movements to take over out Monster, get that free information. Maui was talking about it. You know, the last time OG, when they played Overpass, they were a little bit stagnant, a little turtled up and just maintaining that map control. This time, they're demanding their presence on the map.
Well, if they can get that confidence, right, they've got the firepower. They just need to get out there. Issa trying to make it. Velda, I mean, play off of Velda. Let the guy just have free mobility around the map. Let him just go to work. I mean, clearly there's something there. Although now it is going to be a very quick mid-take there from Fnatic early. Broland just braving the molly. JW, unfortunately for him, walks right into Issa. Was expecting a different angle there. But he only had the deagle. Broland's the one with the AK right now, and I'm not a huge fan of this setup as NBK moves up.
He's so far ahead of all of his teammates. No trade is going to come through here for Fnatic if Broland goes a little too early. You can see he's waiting for his teammate. Some communication going on from the Fnatic side, but NBK, I wouldn't be surprised if his teammate flashes for him. He does draw that contact, and he's lucky to be alive. He did get dinked a little bit early on. This smoke should buy him some time as well, and that trade, it does not come through for Fnatic. So they will be down 2 numbers here. And OG, they are in full control.
Oh, the timing is impeccable. NBK, you're not gonna pull a fast one like that on NBK, dude. He is too good. Long range flush are gonna find a shot on him, but Montu's there to trade it, and there's Crim's getting the tag. Still 4 players alive for OG. Not a whole lot that Fnatic can hope to do in this situation. 30 seconds left. At least Crims has the bomb, but yeah, he's just going to run in here and see what he can do. Yeah, buddy, throwing away the AK.
So if I can't have it, you can't have it.
Oh, unfortunately, Lexi's still able to find one. But yeah, I like that detail. When it's a lost cause, just start chucking guns over fences, you know? Make sure that they have to spend the money. But now that's OG taking 3 rounds in a row and taking the lead in this first half. I mean, what do you think? What do you think OG need to finish with on the CT side? I know it's totally arbitrary, but like number of rounds for them to actually be comfortable going into the second half.
I'd say at least 8.
At least 8.
At least 8.
All right, so we need them to get that winning half. 8-6, 8-7, 9-6. This is what OG are definitely hoping for. Well, Montu. Oh, he gets spotted, but he hits the shot. Flusha walks right in, and Montu does not flinch.
Oh, Flusha gave Montu an easy kill there, an easy pick-off. Gave him a quick jiggle first. Let him know he's on his way, and re-peeks right into that shot. But Broland, he's caught the gun barrel and takes out NBK. That's a good equalizer, at least, because now it leaves OG scrambling. You can see on the minimap a lot of rotations coming through. In fact, giving a B completely. Montu's going to find the opening onto Broland. That's huge. And oh, what a trade. What a shot coming out from Golden.
That's nutty. Definitely not expecting that. HE over the top, not going to do damage. And now Alexi B is going to get caught in the open. Man advantage now for Fnatic, pressing onto the A site. JW going to get gunned down, however, and now Issa's here. He's finally getting to see some action, and he's got his teammate helping him out. Velda has rotated over from the B site, and there is still a chance here for Crims, but he's not going to win the duel. Swedes and Danes have been battling for centuries, and this time around, it's Velda coming out on top. That's 5 rounds now for OG. This is starting to get pretty comfortable for them because, I mean, these are rounds where Fnatic aren't even getting bomb plants, so they're not going to get to keep buying every round and just keep that pressure up. There will be rounds where OG can just comfortably face off against pistols.
Yeah, they're definitely keeping Fnatic's money tight as well. And even JW bringing a deagle into this round, that's going to make that AWP purchase next round. And that's just half armor, but MBK, this should be a shooting gallery for the OG guys. Ooh, this is a disaster for OG right now. If Alexi B isn't able to recover with some trades towards this A site, Fnatic are going to have everything they want into this round.
That's actually pretty crazy that they managed to pull that off now, Fnatic. And you got JW gifted that AWP. He gets to start moving around over here towards the B site, and do OG start spreading out again? It's looking like it. So they've put 2 towards bank, and now OG going to try and cover B site. This is textbook stuff from Fnatic. slow down the pace, force the CT side to spread out again. Give yourself that numerical advantage when you do go crashing onto a bomb site. Every advantage matters at this point. But it is, you know, that's the thing. You set them out, you make it so that they have to rotate a man back down to B, and then you can walk your way back up onto A. Only problem is that this is where Velda stayed. So Velda, he's backed up by Alexi B. Fresh smoke goes down there to block things off at the 30-second mark, so that'll slow things down here for Fnatic a little bit. They have no nades to help them, so this is going to have to be done the hard way. And so now, well...
Oh, this grenade.
15 seconds, Potter. 15 seconds. They don't have any time. There's another nade over the top. Velda catches Roland. And with 10 seconds left, they are just getting annihilated, Fnatic. And you know what? Fair enough, JW. You got an AWP now. Just back off and save it.
Yeah, that's actually totally worth it for Fnatic. As I mentioned, JW probably would have struggled to have full armor and some util coming into this round. But now he's going to be able to have a full purchase. Not too bad, all things considered, of what Fnatic went into that round with. So they'll take those. They'll take those all day. And this time, I'm looking straight at Flusha into this round. Their default, it hasn't had much success. Flusha, he's been getting bullied towards that water, either Molotov or HE grenaded, just chunked down, chipped away at his HP early on. And usually, that's where Flusha makes most of his noise, is towards those B, the L area, the bend, even out that monster. So this time, he's brought a buddy with him. And he's full. He's healthy. Oh, Issa. No trade. That is not going to cut it for Fnatic. They need to be able to have some sort of response. And there it is. Alexi B going down. Fnatic are just getting picked off one by one all across the place right now.
Yeah, this is getting nasty as JW catches MBK and Link, so 3-on-3 sort of scenario. Bomb rotating back around towards B. 2 players here, however, for OG. And, I mean, Velda's thinking it might be time for him to rotate off, and he is going to do just that. Issa, however, has made his way out in front of Monster. If he stops that bomb from getting in here, that's going to get real frustrating for Brolan and the rest of Fnatic as we approach the 45-second mark. Issa's got a smoke. He can throw that down on Monster and try and funnel these guys through on short. And so
He's
30
so far
seconds.
from his
Dude, this is getting crazy.
That kind of secures the deal here.
I'd say so, yeah. Well, now Monster's rotated in. Definitely tough. 15 seconds. JW's probably just going to run back and... No! Oh, no. That's unfortunate. Thought he was going to try and save that op again.
Yeah, Fnatic, they're getting stopped in their tracks at the moment, and they're not finding a lot of any room to work any picks or angles. I don't know that I've even heard Flusha shooting his gun a lot of the time in these rounds, and that's definitely never a good thing. That water area, OG are doing a fantastic job at just finding those isolated 1v1s. As I mentioned, Fnatic weren't able to find any trades in that last round, and you even hardly heard any guns going off, so maybe not in the right positions, maybe a little overzealous. Either way, coming into this round, they're working with scraps again here, Semler. Pistol rounds, but we've seen how close Fnatic can make these rounds. In fact, this round is going to be so important because if you take a look at OG's money as well, it's not the best. They're not working with a lot of money, so if they can just keep chipping away at that economy, eventually towards the latter end of this half, Fnatic should be in prime position to put a lot more rounds on the board.
Without a doubt. Look like Fnatic were thinking about changing it up, and yeah, they are going to try and accelerate the pace here. They can move their way up to short now, and they have a full set of nades. Looking like it's going to be a bit of the run and gun here from Fnatic. Tech9's leading the way. They're going to have some punch to him, and now it's going to be about whether or not OG can hold. Issa's going to find one, and he gets a spray transfer onto the second. Did his job already. Now Velda, of course, is going to find his 1 kill and a second one. And dude, this B defense between Issa and Velda is just rock solid. You got the two top fraggers just holding down a site. Fnatic are just doomed if they come here.
Yeah, they're like freaking turds out there because even Fnatic had some decent flashes, good flashes in fact. Both players getting blind, and it was staggered as well, but Issa, just a stud, finding 2 kills, blind on the second. Fnatic were not able to get a bomb plant, but they're still in okay position here. AWP once again coming out on JW's back. I'd like to see something different coming into this round. Flusha has not found success in this B default. Brolan has not found success towards that long A, lurking alone default. Once again, Brolan is going towards this long A alone, and JW is going to find the opening. There it is. Good trade. Crims is even there to back him up. And Valde, so many targets in front of him, does go down. And once again, look at this movement coming out of OG. They're going to retake this connector area, and Alexi B, he's going to keep pushing for more. This is great coming out of OG. Good proactive movements.
Yeah, you'd say this is what they need to do, isn't it? Start just trying to make some plays here, trying to catch somebody out on Fnatic. Alexi B now could actually just completely eviscerate this push. He can be so quick right up the ladder. He's going to have a man with exactly NBK here in mid. This is all down to timing. Oh, and NBK gets checked. Oh, that's so unfortunate. Alexi, what are you doing, dude? He still hasn't made his way up the ladder. He could still be here in connector, but Fnatic seem to have an idea about this. This is just the waiting game now. Both of these teams, neither one wants to be the one to make the mistake. Flusha is going to be watching from the door, and now Alexi is thinking this is going to be B when it's absolutely not going to be B.
Fnatic just adding the good touch of timing, being patient, making OG sweat it out, and there it is, an unforced error. OG rotate to the wrong bomb site, but with only 3 remaining, it was a gamble that they wanted to take. It doesn't pay off, but again, all the ideas were there, right? The motions were there. OG, they were taking back map control that they absolutely needed. And with one different move from Fnatic, definitely could have resulted in something different, but they lose the A site, and Fnatic good opening picks to start out the round.
Oh, absolutely monster. These guys, I mean, they still have the firepower. That's the thing. I mean, JW is on double digits right now. He's got 10 kills. It's not like he's totally fallen asleep here.
He hasn't really slowed down, has he?
No, he's, what, that's like 46 kills so far in 2 maps. So,
that's some quick math, Sumler.
36 plus 10.
Oh, okay. All right. That was easy.
No, dude, this is really rough, though. I mean, Fnatic, this is where they absolutely have to get the remaining 3 rounds in this half. They have to wake up in a big way. We need to see Flusha start coming into his own. He's got 2 kills, and I think the team are feeling it. You can't really have that low a scoreline, although you do have Alexi B mirrored on the other side. But then NBK, I don't know. None of this makes sense anymore. Look at that. If we're just looking at kills, this is why kills are good, but you got to be careful. It's the bigger picture. And right now, the bigger picture is that OG have got Fnatic in a bit of a stranglehold. Montu going aggressive. Peek at the top mid, not going to find anybody just yet. They're much more interested in the B side of the map. Fnatic early on here and in taking over connector.
Brolan's definitely spotted the head of Montu there from OG, but OG's also heard that as well, so they're going to actually just back up. Alexi B is still very forward, but Brolan, he's got backup now. 2 of his teammates have caught back up with him. Oh, but Alexi B's also got backup now too, and Montu, he's going to keep pushing forward with this AWP.
Oh, are we going to get the shots here? NBK. Unreal.
This is so tense. Everyone is so close to each other.
Yeah, patience really being shown here by both of these teams. Again, Fnatic, they're just willing to let that clock run down. NBK wins the second duel. That is huge. Takes down Flusha, and now there's a 2-man advantage for OG. Alexi B is going to get overwhelmed at long, but fair enough. He's already got his teammates on the bomb side itself. Velda and Issa working together. Brolan and JW, though, finding those kills. Mantu's going to chime in, and this is all over the place. This is just turning into OG whittling down Fnatic now, 1 kill at a time. Brolan gonna get a smoke down, trying to block it off. Oh, but the nade! NBK denies the bomb plant. 9 rounds on the board now for OG. It doesn't get more brutal than this, does it, Potter?
It doesn't. It doesn't. OG are doing such a good job just moving around the entire map right now. Every time Fnatic think they have a bomb site, it's OG coming through with a flank of some kind. Even Lexi B there, bringing Montu over to back him up, then falling back into the bomb site to just secure that entire area as Montu has his back. This is a fantastic defense coming out from OG so far. And Fnatic, they haven't really found an answer. Besides those close, scrappy rounds with the pistols. Oh, and Valde even just one-ups Flusha. Makes him look foolish. Flusha had no idea. Crims is gonna now try his luck outside Monster. And they do find the kill onto Issa, but JW... Oh, Valde! He almost got punished there.
He dropped right as JW was in there, but that nade denies the bomb plant again. These nades have been absolutely brutal. Valde, finally, the guy is taken out. Still a 2-on-2, and it's still totally winnable here for Fnatic, but as the bomb gets planted, that is the correct move. Montu moves in, takes advantage of that 2v1, and now it's Brolan. And Brolan, he's thinking that he needs to go ahead and take the fight to him, and he's got a minute left as well to play with.
These are 2 1v1s for him. Brolan's definitely good for this shot. Oh, he's going to challenge the sniper. I like this from Brolan. He knows he's got the time to work with. Oh, so close.
What a mad lad. I admire it, though. But that's 10 rounds on the board now for the CT side of OG. They definitely, they went above and beyond, Potter. They went above and beyond what you said they needed to be comfortable.
Absolutely, and I'm surprised at how out of sorts Fnatic members are looking right now in the server. It does seem like OG are slipping past and making moves that Fnatic are just not expecting. These are not duels that Fnatic are ready for, which is weird to say at the moment, but OG doing a great job remaining mobile.
Do you think Fnatic are suffering the same fate as MIBR? You know, the other day? MIBR just got bodied on the second map. They just couldn't get their heads in it after the close loss.
That would be weird, right? Because these guys are all on land now. They've all gone there in playoff mode. They've got the experience. I wouldn't picture Fnatic a type of team to falter like that mentally, but
All right.
right now they are looking all out of sorts. JW pushing forward and again, not looking in the right place. Not being able to react to a duel that he's comfortable with, and he goes down. OG, a man up, 5 versus 4 advantage, and NBK, he's lurking around this smoke. Golden knows he's there, but there's not a lot he can do. Oh, Montu, he does go down though. This makes NBK's position all the more difficult. He goes down as well, and just like that, Fnatic, they have the control.
Oh yeah, now they get to set the pace. 40 seconds on the clock, and the push is going to start coming through here. Alexi B going to be forced back. Beautiful Molotov right over the top. Brolan running through his own Molotov. Doesn't even care. That's sick. This, however, is interesting as Valde catches out Flusha. Could get the follow-up as well. They do not want to fight this guy. As soon as they figured out it's him, it's time to back off, get that bomb planted, and get that clock ticking. As Issa and Valde, the 2 heavy hitters for OG, are the last 2 alive now, moving on to this bomb site. Unreal. What is going on? Valde with the double, and now it's all on Crims. 1v2. What happened? Crims, can he pull this off for the Swedes? They're desperate, but it's not happening. Issa will find the final kill, but Valde catching both of those players looking the wrong way.
Unbelievable. How many rounds have we seen where OG members are getting freebies like that? It's free 99 out here, Semler.
20 kills for Valde at the end of the first half in regulation. 11-4 at the end of the first half in favor of OG on the CT side. As we change sides, we'll be figuring out how this all finishes right after the break.
He said to himself, I'm going all in. I'm just putting school aside, every plans that I have. And that's the person he is. When he wants something, goes for it and hope for the best. Just giving it all.
For me, an in-game leader is just as important as a star player, and they both need each other really. The most important thing of a leader in Counter-Strike is just someone to look at and just be like, yeah, we're gonna do this and it's gonna work. Maybe it's completely the wrong tactic, but if you believe enough in it and you do it well, then it can always work. And that for me is the most important thing of having a leader.
If you go and look at the case of Bentek coming from Indonesia, there's basically no reason actually as to why a player would make it from there. The fact that he basically even got to become someone that Westerners would know and want to recruit, I think it's one of the most unlikely stories probably in Counter-Strike history.
Adam's strengths has always been that no matter what, he doesn't really give in. He is never the one to kind of admit that someone's better than him. The mindset for him is that he's better than everyone else, and he wants to go and prove it.
All right, welcome back from the break, everybody. We're getting into the second half here of Overpass, our second map in this loser bracket final. OG are currently in the lead 11-4 over Fnatic, and OG won the first map of this series in 30 rounds as well. So, and this is all on Fnatic now. They've got the weight of the world on their shoulders, Potter.
The weight indeed. Flusha coming out with an HE grenade, trying to do a little bit more damage. He was kind of harmless in that first half, and Golden already taken down to 25 HP. That HE grenade coming through hugely for Valde. And, you know, I didn't even notice Semler. Valde's 20-6 already in the first half.
He's a savage.
Jeez.
He is actually insane. It's unbelievable the level of play this guy's bringing to the table right now. And, well, the desk talked about that going into the series, how he was going to be a linchpin for OG. And sure enough, he's showing up. He was there on Mirage, and here he is on Overpass, just doing work. Unfortunately, JW's kind of petered out. Such a tough break for JW, considering he dropped 36 kills on Mirage. For him to, for them to fade away here, Fnatic. Not like this. That's all you're saying. Not like this.
Yeah, Fnatic had so much faith in Broland holding down the fort at A. He was the lone defender there. 4 defenders from Fnatic stacking towards that B, and that's the A bomb site gone. JW getting taken out on the flank. Although that's a juicy grenade that should help with this retake, Fnatic don't have a smoke either. 3 versus 5 with the flank even in motion.
Oh, it's all about the headshots, and well, sure enough, Crimson's going to find one. Mantu's just going to go charging up, and now Flusha knows that he's caught in a sandwich. He is going to get his reload done, though, so he is going to still be able to take a fight, but it's a 1v3, and he needs to find a kit to have a chance, and the kit is in the open in front of the bank, and it's just not even going to be possible. Issa guns him down, 12-4. OG picking up the pistol in the second half. Both pistols for OG. And, well, that's going to just be the absolute worst case scenario now for Fnatic. OG have got a golden opportunity now to get real close to match point.
Yeah, and I think Fnatic know that as well. They definitely don't want to give OG even any more cushion. The force buy coming through, using every penny that they have at their disposal. And JW is going to try to find some Hwandigs here over that smoke, but none of the OG members are going to give him that duel. Oh, but he's going to press for more. Of course he is.
And BK. Oh, Brolan caught sleeping. JW does manage to get a kill on Valden, so he's taking the raid boss out of the picture. At least they've got that going for him. Still a man advantage for OG, however. And, well, now they get to go ahead and take over control of mid. Flash over the top, but that's going to be fine. OG, if they just keep executing this death ball, they should be able to just work their way up onto a bomb site now. There's only Flusha alive here on A for Fnatic. The remaining 2 Fnatic players are down on B. And well, yeah, Flush is going to work his way down there as well. So this is going to turn into the gamble that we're seeing more and more teams take in these scenarios where you have money invested in Kevlar and pistols, is just stack a site if you're down, stack a site and gamble.
And that's a free site here for OG. And it looks like Flusha might try to sniff out a kill for himself. Oh, that timing on that HE grenade's going to make him think again. And man, it just seems like every corner that Fnatic are throwing, every opportunity that they try to make for themselves, they just get shut down. You know Flusha wanted to Ferrari peek out that smoke and get a kill on the planter, but that HE grenade just stops him dead in his tracks, and now he's just going to try to get an exit for himself. OG are too smart for this. They are not going to give any free guns over to the Fnatic guys. They're grouped up. The buddy system is in play.
He got spotted. And unfortunately for you, Flusha, you're kind of stuck there, dude. Nowhere to go at that point. Flusha goes up with the bomb. Oh, this is it, Potter. 3 rounds away for OG from a spot in the grand finals. And Fnatic, they have got their backs to the wall. They have to go for a round of eco here if they want to have a hope, a chance of running it all the way back on the CT side. We've seen, well, insane comebacks in the past, specifically from this team. So they've been in these pressure situations before. They know what it takes. They know what they're capable of. It's just a matter of whether or not they can get their heads in the game here following this round. Or better yet, you know, this round. That would be pretty good if they can get it done here.
Would be ideal. And you can see Fnatic guys are trying to have a B stack with these HE grenades. See if they can have a cheeky explosion. But it doesn't look like OG are going to test it.
It's not looking ideal right now, no. The trap is not going to get sprung. OG are also playing this exceedingly patient.
Yeah, so thorough. Just not leaving anything to chance at the moment. Checking every corner. And this is great to see coming out of OG, you know? We've seen a lot of teams faltering in these low buy rounds. Getting a bit overzealous, but OG right now, they are looking disciplined and they are not leaving anything to chance. Valde, he's going to go test out this B-bomb site. Those HE grenades, Fnatic were finally able to use them, but it doesn't do anything. And the Fnatic guys are left scrambling now.
Oh, they're going to rotate in, but Alexi B's already got the drop on him. Impeccable stuff here for OG as the bomb gets planted. Fnatic with the remaining 2 players. I mean, Golden would love to see if he could get a kill with this MAC-10. It's not even meant to be. That's not going to happen either. So OG 14-4, a 10-round lead. Super solid money on the side of OG as well. They can buy whatever they want if they, you know, if they desire. And over on Fnatic's side, no money for the AWP for JW, unfortunately for him. He would have had to go for the glass cannon. He elects to go for a rifle play instead.
That is odd.
Yeah.
I better see some coordinated aggression coming out of Fnatic then and getting JW involved early on. Because having that AWP on this CT would have been everything for Fnatic's defenses, but he opts for the rifle. And he's also... he's pressing for more. You can see on the mini-map there that he's pushing the fountain area. He's going to have a lot of intel here. And that should strengthen up this B defense for Fnatic coming through. But OG, they're not stopping. They're already through into the site.
Oh no, Cruz is going to get caught with a nade in his hand. It could not have gone any worse here for Fnatic. Flusha with the double through the smoke though, putting up a fight. Not going down without a struggle. JW, he is going to be very quickly in position for a flank. I'm not sure if Valda was close enough to hear the footsteps though. I think he did. I think he's ready for JW. And so unfortunate for JW. It's just not meant to be. Brolan now in a 1v3. Everything riding on this round. If they lose this, they are broke going into the next one. They will have nothing to work with, and Brolan may be even thinking about that now, that it's time to back off and try and save this AUG so that they have some firepower. But you can't save forever. It is looking like it's going to be the call. I mean, OG are just brutal. Even with 3 players on the B site, Fnatic just got run over. OG are just so decisive when it comes to just moving onto a bomb site together. They're so quick.
Yeah, they are completely outplaying and just schooling Fnatic on Overpass right now. And this is such a strange map so far. Usually when we think of the firepower on both of these squads, you're expecting some crazy duels coming across the map, some AWP versus AWP violence, something of this nature. But so far on Overpass, it's just been OG outgunning Fnatic without Fnatic even being able to shoot back. Out-positioning, outplaying, outmaneuvering, and Fnatic are just left kind of scratching their heads. This might be the last full buy round for Fnatic in this entire series.
Questions now, questions, let's see it. Fnatic again with the aggression though. JW once again, exact same spot. Push right up here by Playground. And for now, oh man, he is just all about the trust. Alexi V is going to work his way back over here, though, and it's looking like it is going to be a rotate over towards that B site from Alexi. They catch JW. That's Mantu. That's just such a tough spot for JW.
Yeah, and Brolan was kind of in the vicinity, but then he ditched him and left to go all the way back to the site to hold connector from far away. So JW was definitely in a one-and-done spot and is traded out. OG with the man advantage, just poking and prodding towards this B defense, and that's even making Brolan fall off of that long A angle in case he needs to rotate towards this B. And OG are just kind of playing with Fnatic right now.
Yeah. And it's looking like they're just going to go ahead and wreak havoc on that B side again here for OG. So 5 alive. Still some nades left on Fnatic. With 40 seconds left, they could get that smoke down. Golden, however, is jiggle peeking, and so he's about to get a bullet to the face. Valda's going to swing, and there it is. Molly canceled out immediately. Crims with the MP9, and Golden chiming in. They are holding the line, Fnatic. Not going to go down without a fight. Issa finally going to pick up one of those players, but that is going to be it. Well, not quite. Mantu finds Flusha as well. 2-on-2, 18 seconds left. Bomb in the open. They still have a smoke to play with, though. Issa could try and get that in position on the bomb site. Yep. That should allow him to get out here. No, Brolan denies him, and now with 8 seconds left, you need to get this bomb down. Not going to be possible. 5 seconds, you need to get the kills. They need to be the fastest ones ever, and it's just not going to happen. Fnatic showing some life here at the very end, holding the line on the B site.
Solid crossfire coming out from Fnatic to hold down that B site. And finally, something coming through for Fnatic. A clean round, in the end at least. I got worried there when I saw Mantu tapping away at that Heaven player. Things can get pretty dicey, but Fnatic get away with 2 saved guns.
2 saved guns, and actually a pretty decent buy, all things considered. This time they're putting 4 players down on B early, Fnatic. They're not messing around. They're fully trusting JW to hold the line over there towards A. And he is going to be posted up in restroom. Velda, however, just barely missing out on Crims. That was such a close run thing. Crims could still catch Velda. And Relentless, but there is going to be the full clear of sewers at least, and so some information gained for Fnatic, but that doesn't change the fact that OG got the opening kill.
Yeah, and you could see Fnatic brought Brolan over from A to try to gain some water control, but man, he just gets taken out, and JW jumping Mac 10 by NBK. Flusha all alone in this A bomb site. You can see his teammates are rotating on the minimap, but OG, they're actually being pretty patient here. They're gonna misdirect a little bit and go back towards B, and what a call coming out from Alexi B. Once again, just this mid-rounding coming out from this IGL of OG. It's a free bomb site. Oh, actually, the rotation came in really fast.
Yeah, Golden was also there, but they are going to get traded. Mantu drops, and there's Issa. Man advantage now. It's all on Flusha for Fnatic, and he's been smoked off. 30 seconds. He gets a kill on NBK through the smoke.
Of course, it's Flusha getting that kill through the smoke, but he does get punished by Issa in the end, and OG, they close it out.
What a fantastic map. OG absolutely dominating Fnatic on the second map and really setting themselves up for success. They have managed to battle their way through in OG fashion. In OG fashion, they have managed to battle their way through the lower bracket, through the groups, through the playoff bracket, and now they've got a spot in the grand final. So, Potter, I mean, quick thoughts here before we end it.
Oh man, I'm shocked. I'm shocked at how newbie they made Fnatic look. I think OG, they were absolutely looking like they were smurfing in here. Alexi B, he read this game like a book. There wasn't a moment where OG looked uncomfortable ever. Fnatic were just uncomfortable throughout this entire series across both maps.
Yeah, Fnatic, man, it's just, I think what happened is what they had inflicted on MIBR the other day. Close, put your heart and soul into the first map, everything in it, and if you lose it at the very end, it's so hard to get your head back into the game on the second map to try and figure it out, and I don't think Fnatic actually managed to recover. So, unfortunate turn of events there for Fnatic. They were looking so good, especially JW, 36 kills on the first map, which is monster, insane performance. Just wasn't enough to get his team across the finish line today.
Yeah, it definitely wasn't. And unfortunate as well to see Fnatic going out in that fashion. But once again, OG making it to the grand finals, the second grand finals of this squad. And I mean, it's now finally coming through, Semler. 1 year after this OG squad was formed, they're making it to grand finals consistently now. It's about time, I think, OG finally lift that trophy.
Yeah, it is an achievement. But what is also an achievement, Potter, is that we've made it the distance, man. That's it. Flashpoint 2 in the books for you and me.
We've done it. We've done it.
All right. Well, thanks, Potter, for the cast. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. Awesome times. We are going to be taking a quick break, and we'll come back and hear what the analysts have to say. And we will be, of course, back later on today for the grand finals of Flashpoint. Follow the stream. Follow the social. Stay on top of it. We'll be back with more amazing CS here at Flashpoint 2.
OG must have taken a shower between maps because damn did they look clean on Overpass against Fnatic, taking them down easily on Fnatic's map pick. May have been close in map 1, but certainly not in round 2 of this duel. And that means OG is going to be moving on to the finals in order to face Virtus Pro. Thorin, were you surprised at Fnatic's poor performance on Overpass?
Absolutely. I mean, this is the second least played map by OG. Remember, OG never plays Vertigo, so that's not even saying much in that regard. Like, it's basically the map they don't play. So if you consider there's a world in which this could have been 2-0 at one point on Mirage. Instead, they get 0-2 themselves. This is it's the story of Fnatic, basically. It's why it's actually fitting that they go out this way. They go out when the veto favors them. They go out after a map that was almost won, after they get all the performances in theory you would need out of the big names. You had JW basically putting up an MVP performance. Probably has now had that award stolen from him, because I'm sure one of the OG players has a very good chance to win it in the final. Like, if you're Fnatic, aside from saying what really was Flusha doing for most of the tournament, and maybe some questions about how they played against lower econ buys. Aside from that, it was a great tournament. It's just it ended in the most sort of ominous way ever. Like, this makes me wonder what the future of the team is.
Yeah, Maui, you came into this and we were looking at OG and you said, okay, the last time, and that was 6 months ago now, we were really seeing OG active on this map. They looked discombobulated. They didn't look aggressive. How much has their play changed? Because remember, this was the first time they've actually played Overpass here at Flashpoint.
Yeah, I got to give them a lot of credit, because it looks like they developed the map quite a bit, especially on the CT side towards B. Flusha at the beginning of that game was down 2 and 8, 2 kills, 8 deaths, and a lot of that was because OG were throwing just different problems at him constantly, nading, mauling that short tunnel, NBK swinging from connector door. It felt like Flusha never really found his game in this map, and that's something you don't really expect to say about Flusha, because he's got so much experience under his belt. He's always usually able to adapt, but it felt like he just wasn't ready for OG to be that aggressive towards his position. So when Flusha isn't able to be confident, that means your clutching factor on the map is not going to be there, because he usually has to be that guy for the team. He usually is the bailout guy on Overpass, and he's even said in an interview before that Overpass is his favorite map. So for the fact that he was challenged in that regard and actually shut down that strongly by OG, I just have to give a credit to OG at the end of the day.
Yeah, and we did have a pretty good example of that if we take a look at round 15 from that game, because it was kind of a wild back and forth punctuated by a Fnatic throw, right, Maui?
Yeah, so this is a weird start to the round. At the very beginning of it, Flusha actually buys an op. He does find one kill with it, but this felt like kind of just a scattered approach. But eventually, actually, Fnatic kind of pull it off. They're in a 4v2 right now, but as Flusha's trying to get off the bomb site with that op, he's just getting caught. And then Valde just somehow approaches, and this just felt like a communication breakdown on the side of Fnatic, because how was no one watching the flank at that point when Valde just killed Flusha? That just doesn't make any sense. Fnatic is a team that's renowned for their comms. The fact that they can stay cool, calm, and collected no matter what the situation is. But in that moment, it just felt like they just let the whole game slip away. And I felt like there was absolutely nothing left in the tank for them at that point.
Do you think it was demoralizing, Thorin, for Fnatic to lose the first map in the way that they did, and that was contributing to their really hard loss here on Overpass? Or do you think it just poor preparation on the side of Fnatic or execution?
I also think you've got to throw in, like, another factor I would maybe draw is something like a mixture of the two. Like, it was demoralizing, certainly, because they were basically leading the whole game right until the very end where they lost, which was literally on the last round of the whole game, remember. Aside from that, they were, even if they were losing a round, they could still get a couple more, and they would keep the buffer, and they would continually, it would only be like getting broken on rounds where you even say to the other guys, don't worry about it, that can happen, we're going to win all the gun rounds, it's fine. So to me, that certainly was probably in the back of their mind. But I've also got to throw in as well another factor, which if you remember a couple of playoff matches ago, I said was a huge boon for the Fnatic guys, was how well Crims was overperforming. And in these last two series of the tournaments, he has massively struggled. And even visually, when you would see him in scenarios where he's basically supposed to be what Valde is now, like the guy who gets you those stable kills, always positions correctly, plays for time so a teammate can come. He had a really, really poor game yesterday and today. And so unfortunately, in these tight matches, I think that's been a factor that's cost them against teams that have been able to grind them out. Look, the two best grinding teams in the tournament are Virtus.pro and OG.
It is surprising as well, because Crims came into today at number 4 in terms of HLTV rating. Broland was number 1. And I know we're going to talk a lot about OG and their successes, especially before our finals against Virtus.pro. So I do want to think about how Fnatic failed in this event and what it means for Fnatic as a team moving forward, because it's a team that struggled during the online era. They've tried to get over some of these hurdles by having the boot camp, for example, during the Flashpoint playoffs. Ultimately, it was enough to get them third place and $100,000, which is nothing to sneeze at. But when you're coming in to this match with the number 1 HLTV rating player, the number 4 player, and you're looking at strong individual performances, How is it that they've fallen so far short of expectations when their individual level seems to be pretty good, Maui?
I feel like this makes me think of what Krim said a few months ago, I think at DreamHack Open Fall, when we asked him on the desk, what are you guys looking to prepare? What do you guys see as your win conditions moving forward? Krim said to us that they were working on their individual skill, and I feel like that was actually not a problem this game. I feel like they performed very well. JW, if that's what they were working on, they did excellently well. I think JW, this is the best tournament he's had all year. So, and on an individual level, it clearly passed the eye test. But I will say that I feel like their prep in certain moments, the fact that Flusha was so unaware what was that bombardment of nades that was coming at him towards that water position, I feel like that's a lack of prep. I feel like they might not be looking at the right things when they're going into these matchups. And they were trying to find a punish pick here in Overpass against OG, but they may have underestimated what OG was going to be bringing to the table. I know in the back of their minds now, and vision is hindsight is 2020. So at the end of the day, I will say that
I wish they had Inferno
like
though. Come on, you know they did.
that's what they're thinking right now. That's what I'm thinking right now, and I feel like they know that too. It's rough because you think that JW played so well that this just slipped away from them. Like, this should have been their tournament, because you get these kind of performances out of JW literally once a year. So the fact that they couldn't capitalize and take this big prize pool home, it's a little depressing, I'll say.
Yeah, I actually think this actually spells some really disturbing omens for the future of the team, because they were so incredible for the first, I'm going to say, 4 or 5 months out of the gate when we were on LAN. And I think this ties into what Maui Snake's talking about here, which is the old school players in Fnatic are from the era where you did just go to the tournament and then you played like veteran style Counter-Strike. Like when we're in a late round scenario, people aren't going to play a simple tactical. They're going to fuck that tactic up because it's a lot of pressure, and I'm just going to use smart positioning. I'm going to play off my teammate, and then, as he says there, it sounds stupid, but I'm just going to kill them. That's all I'm going to do. Counter-Strike, at the end of the day, just like football's about scoring goals, Counter-Strike is about shooting people with the guns. So if you can get to the right level on that, as Fnatic thought they were, in theory, you're supposed to win tournaments. The problem is, in this online period, OG showed it to you here. I've never seen Mantu play a big LAN and do some of the things he does in this tournament, but when it's online, he has a freedom to do it. So unfortunately, Fnatic is almost a team tailor-made not to be as good online. That's where all their advantages disappear. And the reason that's so depressing, and why I say it's a bad omen for the future of the team, is right now, there is no end in sight to the online period. So even though they've become a good team again, they're not winning tournaments. And more importantly for me, it's actually going to really, I think, ruin Swedish Counter-Strike, because for me, they're the team that have redefined the blueprint of how you make a remolded version of your old squad, because they took those veterans, they actually put them into less resource heavy positions, aside from JW getting his AWP. And by the way, he has completely transformed his own game, so massive props to him. And then what they've done is people like Crimson Flusha are more your supportive elements, or in the case of Flusha, just play with no resources. And then you have Golden, who they now trust. They understand they have to have this guy lead the way, and his coach is his former coach from the academy team. And then the young star, unlike the lesson that Nip taught us all the time of you just make the young star play the worst role. If he's really good enough, he'll prove himself. No, just put him in the fragging positions. Let him use that crazy aim, and you use all your veteran experience to cover any flaws he might have. And so generally, I feel like this is one of the teams I feel so bad for in the context of the current period, because if we were offline, I'd bet you money right now they'd win some tournaments. They would look really strong against a lot of teams. But at least in the online period, I think it's with good reason that they've had their struggles, despite the fact they still have those maps that they have a moment where they look amazing.
Yeah, in my interview, too, with JW, he said it was hard for him to kind of get the energy to play well without being on LAN, that he didn't feel like it was sharpening his performance and felt kind of dull as a result of that, which is why he said he thought MIBR had certain advantages, because due to their kind of lack of LAN experience, they were getting more into the games and more invested. If you're Fnatic, Thorn, do you stay the course with this team? Do you say, okay, we're just going to ride this out? As you say, there may be no end to this in the near future. Keeping that in mind, HLTV reporting that the major in the spring has been canceled, which kind of, throws a bunch of the RMR points out the door, as it were. It's not looking like we are going to get any lands in the immediate future. Do you just kind of ride this out for the next 6 months and hope we return to LAN play, or you try and make some adjustments to compensate for the online era?
The tough thing is, if I go with like heart and history, the reason why you can't really make a change is because actually, as we said, before these last two matches, Crims was banging out of control. So basically everyone in the team was doing their job except Flusher. And if you know anything about what would be considered blasphemy in Counter-Strike, in the same way as you're not allowed to say Cop Forest, you're not allowed to say Cop Flusher because he still does do those ridiculous rounds that only Flusher can do. But be it using my head and just trying to be as rational as I can about the game, it's the obvious player that you would remove if you were going to make a change. Like, as much as he might bring something on those bullshit rounds and those low econ scenarios, you might not need to be in those situations if you added another solid fragger. So I can't claim to know who it would be. I mean, at this point in time, you probably want to pillage someone from NIP, but unless you've got a really solid move, I probably just stick because like some of these flaws, I think they're right there. Like, I think considering they finished third, they're a team where I could still have seen them win the whole tournament. In fact, maybe even without losing a series. So I would probably personally gamble and just say that we're somehow going to tweak the small things that we're making mistakes in now.
Yeah, it also has to be said that they did lose. The only teams they lost to in the playoffs were the eventual finalists. So there's not really any kind of shame here. There wasn't any upset when we look at it. And in retrospect, it was Virtus Pro that knocked them into the losers bracket. OG beat them in the losers finals. Third place still very respectable. That said, Maui, do you have any final word that you would like to put in on the Fnatic roster? Do you agree in staying the course with this team?
Yeah, I think you do, because a couple months ago, they beat OG in 2 BO3 straight. So this kind of felt like any given day thing, just a little bit. I mean, Overpass was a bit of a slaughter, and it looks like OG prepped for that. But Fnatic, they just beat him on that. They've beaten him on Inferno. They beat him on a lot of different maps. It felt like this was just OG's day for me. And Fnatic, if you give him a shot tomorrow, I think they could easily have they could have won the rematch and gone to the finals, and then maybe they win the rematch against VP as well. So I don't think this is cause for alarm just yet. Third place is nothing to scoff at here at Flashpoint. Definitely given the stronger teams that are at Flashpoint 2 compared to 1.
Well, that will put a bow on Fnatic here at Flashpoint. Congratulations to them for their $100,000 winnings in third place. We are going to save a lot of our discussion at OG before we head into the finals, and we're going to have to see if, as Maui says, it continues to be their day or not. We are going to go to an interview right now with Alexi B with Freya, after which, just so you guys know, we are going to take a break. OG needs some time to rest and prepare before the finals. Our finals will be beginning in 2 hours and 15 minutes. That is 7 p.m. GMT or 8 p.m. CET. But first, let's hear some words about that match against Fnatic from Alexi.
We can indeed, Monty. Thank you very much. And huge congratulations, Alexi. Despite taking one of the longest routes here at Flashpoint 2, you managed to make it to the grand final. Can you tell me the thoughts of the team right now?
Hello? I cannot hear anything.
Can you hear me, Alexi? Unfortunately, doesn't seem like Alexi
Okay, now I hear.
Me. Oh, you can hear me now?
Yes.
There we go. Excellent. I was just saying congratulations to you guys. Despite taking one of the longest routes here at Flashpoint 2, you've managed to make it to the final. So can you tell me the thoughts of the team, especially coming off that second map?
It's joyful. I think all of us need a small break here. Maybe not 2.5 hour break, but at least we're getting a break. That's the most important thing, which some tournament organizers won't give. So I'm really glad we could push back the day a bit because of yesterday. So we could at least sleep a bit, even though I woke up like 30 minutes before our prep time and was kind of late to joining the others. But we've been waking up every minute now, and I think after having this small break, it will help us even more for the final.
Well, it didn't seem like it affected you that much, Alexi, coming into this. And I want to ask about Overpass as well. Did you expect that to be coming out, considering we've seen Fnatic picking out Inferno most of the time against you in those best-of-3 series?
Yeah, I was expecting Overpass. The thing about the Inferno was that, yeah, they've been picking it against us, but lately we've started to show some strength on the map, and we've been picking it in the last, I don't know, like 3 or 4 officials. So I'm pretty sure they just wanted to play a map against us, which isn't our pick at the moment, like not a map we're picking every time. And they've been really decent on Overpass and won us on it last time, so I think that's why they went with Overpass.
Was there anything key that you saw from Fnatic's loss yesterday against Virtus Pro, and then obviously the matchup with MIBR as well that went to 3 OTs? Was there anything that you noticed in that you could be exploiting as a team?
No, I didn't honestly watch at all. I trusted the coach on Overpass because I knew how they play Overpass. They don't change it up, in my opinion. The way they play it is really strong, don't get me wrong. I remember the last time we played against them, the 16-14 game, I did a lot of prep and we have like every note written down so I can always go back to those. And if you just memorize how a team plays a map, you can really go with a lot. And I prepped some for Mirage and the Decider and for overall just all of the other stuff.
I want to ask about your own approach to Overpass as well. As you were saying, there obviously a lot of preparation coming into it, but as the desk was saying, it's one of your least played maps in the entire map pool. So where did you kind of see your own approach coming from it? Do you feel like you caught Fnatic off guard with anything you were doing?
I think what really made us good on this CT, which sometimes we might lack on Overpass, is the lack of trading. But today I felt like, yeah, we had some rounds where we didn't get the perfect scenario, but we had a lot of situations where we're trading each other or coming out on top in these entries. And that's really the key decider for us on Overpass. I really feel like we have played, like 6 maps on it and we've won 4, and the losses are really tight. So I'm really confident in Overpass, and I know the others like the map also. But it's just maybe not a map we would want to pick, considering there is some other maps. But we're more than glad to play it as a decider from time to time. And if we just hit these timings and get the trades going, I feel like we can snowball on the map.
I do quickly want to go back to your map pick as well of Mirage, because it kind of looked like Fnatic were gaining a lot of momentum going towards the end of it there. So were there any particular calls that you made to be winning 8 out of the last 9 rounds and taking the win?
I guess the only times when, like, obviously everyone is calling something like slight details, but I think the only rounds which had more thought onto them were the kind of like the force buys. One of the force buy where we rushed underground and catch JW off guard, and then the other one where we double naded mid boxes with Nathan, and then I don't remember what exactly happened, but I think Valde went crazy on the A side. But it's just against them, Mirage City, like we have a game plan and we just tried to follow that. Obviously, we lost every pistol and the anti-eco after. And then on the first gun round, we didn't have the AWP. So both sides started really bad for us. But as soon as we got the economy and got some confidence going, we made the comeback happen.
And of course, this isn't all we're going to be seeing from you here at Flashpoint 2 today. You're going to be making it to that grand final, as we were just discussing, and it's going to be against none other than Virtus.pro, whom you beat back in the group stage of the tournament. So what have you made of their progression throughout Flashpoint 2 so far? Because you've seen them actually managing to make it all the way through that upper bracket. Is there anything you're looking out for going into this match?
First of all, like, I wasn't surprised at all that they made the finals. I think I considered them as the top 3 team here. And I guess like their game style, if they're hitting their shots, and especially like the way that they're just saving constantly, and every round you're under pressure, especially if you are on the CT side, and your economy is like not the best. And the moment they pick you apart and just crush your money, that's like how they are really strong, and that's what you could see yesterday when they had a nice game against Fnatic. But overall, we played against them. I've played against them previously. I know their tendencies. I know their game style. I said this in the past as well. But I think, considering we were on the other final a month ago, maybe against FaZe, we were maybe a bit stressed, and it was the first time we were in finals. So what I'm glad about here is that even though the schedule has been really tight, we haven't gotten the perfect sleep in. Maybe people are a bit more unfocused and shit, but I just feel like, because the schedule is so hectic, we have no time to think that this is a final. Like, this is another match. We're just gonna go into the match and we're gonna see if we come out on top. I feel really confident we're gonna beat them.
It's amazing to get to hear from you, Alexi. Thank you so much for checking in. We'll give you a little bit of time to rest and recuperate as we head towards the final. Thank you so much, and congratulations once again.
Thank you.
And with
So,
that, we're going to be heading to a quick break. But when we come back, it's grand finals time here at Flashpoint 2.
After the break, Virtus Pro versus Fnatic only on Flashpoint.